Welcome to Vegas Live with Ninon. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the show. Well, if you don't recognize the man next to me, you should recognize him. His name is Ronnie Nanos, and he just brought out this incredible movie that I was doing the red carpet for last night, and it went extremely well.
I think it did, yes.
It went very, very well. And, of course, we're on Vegas Live with Ninon. I'm Ninon, your host. And, Ronnie, I just think it was amazing. The turnout, you were the director.
Yes, this was my directorial debut. My first film I directed.
What was your name of the film?
Ring of Desire.
Ring of Desire, and it was a fabulous interview with all these stars. Some of them had the opportunity to become a star that hadn't acted before.
That is correct.
And I thought, when interviewing all these different people, and they well, I've never acted before, I've never done this before, and I was thinking to myself, wow, Ronnie really gave them this chance. Why did you do that?
Well, actually, many of them, it really was auditions when we auditioned the film.
Yes.
My mindset was to be just as fair as possible and open it to... I wanted to see new faces we hadn't seen, so everybody that auditioned, yes, many of them, it was their first film.
There was a young lady... She had this gorgeous curly red hair and these brilliant big blue eyes.
Oh, yes.
I was sort of fascinated. I don't even know how I conducted the interview.
She looked like a little starlet.
She did. She absolutely was amazing. I thought, well, she doesn't even know she's a star before she's a star. How was her acting?
She did incredibly well. That would be Bridget Riley. So yes,
Bridget Riley, that's who it was.
Yes, and yes, she did incredibly well. Again, everyone that auditioned for this film, they earned those roles. They deservedly received those roles.
When you have auditions, how many people did you have? Did you have a lot of people? Because I know that Vegas is kind of full of a tremendous amount of actors and actresses.
We had over 100 people audition for Ring of Desire. That's including here in Las Vegas and through submission as well.
A submission as
Video
well.
Submission.
And how many people did you need?
Originally with the script, I think we needed less than 10. We added a few characters in another dimension that I did with the writers. When I received the script, I kind of met up with the writers that live in Los Angeles and added some tweaks and stuff to the script. And after auditioning the actors, I was very pleased because you always wonder...
There was a few you wanted to bring in.
Well, you always wonder if you're going to have enough people or the right people.
The right people. Are they going to do what you want? The audition might be great, but they could fall flat on their nose doing it.
Well, I audition a little bit differently as well. With a theater background, when they schedule an audition with me, I didn't do any callbacks. You audition. So
you had the first time you had to be really on.
No, you audition with me. We give you your sides, and we send them their sides before that audition when they schedule.
Course, yes.
And they prepare it, and then we film them. And after we film them, my first thing I do is I would like to give you notes. And I want to see how they react and how quickly I can direct them and see how they adjust to those notes.
Practicing out how your directing would be.
Every actor got 15 minutes where they came and auditioned, and then we worked to see what they
And then you wrote a little something out for them and see how fast they could bring that.
Or change on the spot. And with a theater background, we do that often. Again, I come from a theater background and a ballet background coming into film. Again, when I originally became part of the Vegas film community, was completely by accident. It was never.
What happened? I'm going to hear a story now.
It was never my intention. It was never my plan.
Tell me the story. What happened?
Well, I originally came out here to Las Vegas. You know, I had a professional career in theater and as a ballet dancer in my 20s and early 30s.
Yeah.
And I'm giving away my age.
No, you're not. But he's one of these people that flips through the air and does these Twitter things. What do you call those again? Those things you go back and forth 3 or 4 times.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I don't remember what they're called.
But anyway, you have to do when you fly in the air and you and it's amazing how many you can do.
But I actually was I decided to get back into professional work, and the first thing I did out here was 7 years ago I auditioned for the show Rock of Ages when I was on the
wow.
I didn't get in, but I got a call back. But then I was hired after that to re-choreograph the show Evil Dead the Musical on the Strip. It had been halfway through its run at that time, and I redid the entire show.
That was down at the Westgate, wasn't it?
It was actually at Planet Hollywood.
Oh, Planet Hollywood, okay.
And then it went to the Tommy Wind Theater after that.
Yes.
And during that time I became, I was coming in monthly doing some work on it, and there was And at that time I decided I auditioned for another role for another play out here called Sordid Lives at the Onyx Theater, and I got my first lead in the Vegas area. I don't even live in Las Vegas, because people don't even know that.
No, they don't.
And they don't. In Texas.
You live in Texas?
I live in Texas.
So you fly back?
I fly back and forth, or drive back and forth. I was here more pre-pandemic.
Yes.
But during that time, that's 6 years ago now, there was a film being filmed called The Immortal Wars by Joe Lujan.
Yes.
And our executive producer with Evil Dead was the executive producer for that film. And they had cast the film and everything. And they were having a reading for their cast, and somebody missed. So it was, hey, would you like to come in and read?
You happened to be there.
And they gave me a small role in that film. And film was never part of the plan.
And you'd never really done much filming?
I'd never done a film. I'm a live stage performer.
You'd never done a film?
I'd never been in film before that. I was a live stage. I'm still a live stage performer.
Of course, because once you are. But they always say that any actor should have stage performance behind them. Then they make the greatest actors.
Well, I hope so.
That's what they say. That's
I think it's a totally different type of training. I think most stage actors tend to really go into legit theater, as it's called, as opposed to musical theater. And again, I've done both. You do study, you do train. You know, I did study at Stella Adler when I was in my 20s. An internship there. Yes. And so again, going into film, I feel lucky and blessed to have been given a first-time film with the lack of experience in film.
Yeah.
And I think, wow. And I just wanted it to be about performance and the actors, and I really was so proud of those actors. I loved that venue, too, that Galaxy Theaters.
Oh, the Galaxy Theatre.
Yes, I really loved that.
We were at the Galaxy last night with the premiere of this movie, Ring of Desire. And the Galaxy, I've done a lot of red carpets down there with my crew, with Steve and with Lynn. And it's very comfortable. It's very nice. You know, you have to wear the mask and do the whole thing.
Right, and I get that.
We don't mind that, because when you're a performer or when you're asked to do something, you actually do it.
Yes.
And you follow the protocol, because if you don't, you get kicked out.
That's right.
All know that. And
it's very people know that. I'm a bar owner in Texas.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, people didn't know that. So.
Oh, what's the bar you own?
I don't know. Yeah, I own a bar in Texas too. Sorry, and I come from that business aspect of this is how we run it. So you don't make the rules.
Yeah, I have to follow these rules. And I hate to pass it down to you, but you can't come in unless. How's the bar? What's the name of the bar? Come on.
Oh my gosh! Well, the RR Bar in Amarillo, Texas. That had been open for 17 years.
Oh, how amazing!
And again, I was closed for 6 months during the pandemic.
Of course,
so that's
like everybody.
It was like
so
everybody
what is it, 50-50 now, or is it completely open? I think
I'm
Texas
completely open. I do still require masks in my venue, in my bar.
Yeah.
But actually, the month of March was the first time that we had our pre-pandemic levels, so I'm really thankful.
So you're very thankful.
And we started to bring back entertainment in my bar. I have a backroom venue where we do produce theater and burlesque and live stand-up comics. So.
So you actually do burlesque as well?
I am a burlesque performer. And that was part of bringing in all these I've seen recently. I've noticed
you must
so
know
many
Georgette Dante.
I know Georgette Dante well. She is a burlesque legend.
She definitely is a burlesque. She actually is the director of entertainment for my other show.
I love Georgette.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
She really is.
She's a go-getter. You know, she's doing a small documentary now.
I do.
You do? She's doing a small documentary on battered women.
Yes, I knew that.
Yeah.
She sends me, actually, even as recent as last night, she always sends me little snippets of what she's doing.
What she's up to and what she's doing.
That's Georgette.
Well, she's grown and she's growing and she's really doing great and she's doing wonderful.
Well, that was even part of the performers and people we had last night in Ring of Desire were burlesque performers.
Well, it's funny because there was a girl there that I was talking to, and I think it was talking to her with Brandy, who is another person. Mm-hmm. She's the this +7, Lucky 7, whatever they're called.
Yes, the 777 challenge, the Lucky 7 challenge.
Lucky 7. I don't think they've got the name correct yet, but they've got different. But it's 7.
It's the Lucky 7 challenge.
The Lucky 7 challenge. Right. It's making movies and doing all that. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to this girl, and I don't know how we got into burlesque. And she said, "Well, I'm a burlesque teacher," and she was quite young. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. She's not 20, but she's quite young because everybody thinks burlesque is of before. Mm-hmm. And not now.
Right.
But it is now, right? Or still?
It is now. Actually, it's been... Again, I got involved with the burlesque community about 6 years ago during all that transition. And I even went to the school here because, as a former dancer.
Yeah.
And just in that time, too. Again, since that time, I'm a national performer. I've been in over 10 festivals.
Look at that. See, you live and learn, don't you?
I'm also a national mentor for burlesque performers that two of my burlesque performers, that actually they live in Colorado. Some of us are chosen. It's called the Golden Legends Championship Challenge. And where they bring in burlesque legends and burlesque guest mentors to coach burlesque performers from across the country, and they compete.
They compete. Well, they said there is this
the
big
world
program
champion.
But I think most people out there, and I really want to explain that burlesque has not gone away.
No.
If anything, is coming back bigger.
Well, here in Las Vegas, it was really great yesterday. The Burlesque Hall of Fame Museum just reopened.
Wow, Heather!
What a wonderful museum to find out the
history.
Where
is it? Do you know?
It is in it's Town Square, the area. There's a bar called Artifice. It's in the Art Square district.
Yes.
So it's right there, called the Burlesque Hall of Fame Museum. Go there. I actually volunteered when they moved to that location to help build shelves and whatnot. So it's always giving back to the community that way. They do teach classes. I don't know if they brought back classes quite yet.
But they're bringing them back.
Yes, they just reopened the museum yesterday.
Oh, how fabulous.
So
this is all very exciting.
So all of these were part of me becoming
April March. Well, I interviewed April March.
I know April March as well. Yeah. Fantastic. Another burlesque
She's
legend.
I mean, there's so many of them out there, but in those
Vegas
days,
has a plethora of them. Vegas, there are so many here. We're lucky to have them here.
But in the old days, they were different to what they are now, but actually still very much the same. You're trying to keep the same identity of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yeah, this is the home of the Burlesque Hall of Fame, and due to COVID last year and this year, it's not being done the world, but it'll be back.
It'll be back, absolutely.
It'll be back.
So now, is this your first movie you've actually directed?
It is the very first one I have directed.
Now, are you going to? Did you like it, and are you going to continue in that career?
I love directing. I prefer directing. I've directed theater, and I produce and direct all the shows and stuff. I'm a production guy. I like to be in charge.
You're a production, so you like behind the scenes and in front of the scenes.
Well, even as a performer, as an artist and actor and all those things, I like those, but I like production more. Production. I always have.
Yeah, so you like to sort of...
That doesn't mean don't cast me. Please still cast me and stuff, please.
He wants to be cast. What actor doesn't want to be cast?
But I do like directing. I like working with actors. I like working with artists.
Yeah. But you have the compassion
shine.
for them, because I don't know if you know, in the movie industry, you can't ever say, well, that was a bad take, or you didn't act right. You never say that to an actor, because that depletes their energy. So what you always...
I come from a theater background. I give notes. I do. Again, I think I'm very... I do move quick, so again... Yes, I see what you're saying, but I do often believe you've got to be honest, though, too.
Yes, well, yes, you've got to be honest and say, look, well, normally they turn around and say, well, let's do it this way instead of that way, or let's take another shot, Or
I'm honest, I didn't feel that. That is not what we would work on. I'm honest about it. I do.
Good. And say, up it, or do this, or do that.
That happens as a boss, as a business owner.
Yes,
I'm used to being very direct.
Yes.
It doesn't come from a bad place. It comes from a place of, I want you to be the best that you can be. Yeah. And I'm always come from that mantra of, I will never ask you to do more than I will do.
Than you will do.
But I do a lot.
But you do know.
I do a whole lot.
But Ronnie does know how it works.
Yes.
And when you know how it works and you know what you want, you have to let that other person know what it is. Otherwise, how on earth are you going to get them to do what you have in your mind?
Well, as a director, we want our artistic vision and our brushstrokes while we're still collaborating with those artists.
It's like a painting.
And
it has to, they all have to fold in and be together.
It was really great last night with the directors that were there. From that Lucky Sevens challenge, there was 5 of the directors, and all of them I'm huge fans of. There's Dale Nevin, Joe Lujan, Mike Conway. There's so many there. Again, and some of them I've worked with before in their films.
Was there.
Ben Stober was there, who runs it, and Jeremy Settles, who run that program.
They run the whole program,
which is a great program. I think they always see these Indiegogo things online, and they're like, "Oh, it's just another cash grab. Here, we're going to make a movie."
This is a little different.
Yeah, I believe
they've got it organized. They've got
that, and people can get involved. And yes, you are making a donation to produce these films. Each of these films is being produced for less than $10,000 each. And I think it comes down to people learning in the business in any kind of arts forms. Some of the frivolous incomes on some of the things. Yeah. If you're performance-based and just getting a good story, that doesn't cost extra.
No.
And I think people learn in this the production aspects of it. And it's giving them that opportunity.
And you've also got to give your time and not say, well, I work from 9 to 6 and I've now worked till 7, so I want an hour overtime. That does not happen in the entertainment or music business ever.
No. And I think what they get in this people that donate, or they can be involved as much as they want to be involved. I mean, you're assigned on as associate producer. You could be on set. You can help learning a skill.
About something else.
That's what I did. Again, I got in the film business, in the industry, and I was on sets, and I learned. And I guess I really am a big advocate for this Lucky Sevens, because that is my story. I am a product of, you go on set, you learn. I did a couple stuff for free. I did.
Yeah, you don't. You don't become opposed to doing anything. You just say, well, I'm an actor. I'm not going to do anything behind the scenes.
Especially that, because you learn a skill, and again now, it's 5 years later, and I'm getting to direct my second film.
Isn't that wonderful?
And I get to do these things.
What was your second movie?
My second film, where we just announced the auditions last night.
What's the name of the movie?
Death Club.
Death Club.
It'll be filming here in Las Vegas in September. Auditions will be here in Vegas in the first week of June. I'll put that on social media. Again, I feel very lucky I was chosen to do a second one. I also made a deal with Mr. Patel, our executive producer, and I'm so thankful to Neelish and to Chaitali, his wife.
Yeah.
Neelish said after Death Club that if I want to, I get to actually pick a script I would like to direct. I didn't pick any of the first two scripts. So.
No, but how cool is that? So he liked your directing.
Yes. And so
Mr. Patel is actually, he has all these movies going. So he has 9 more movies coming up.
He does.
Yes, he has 9 movies coming up. He is the financier, and he takes care of all that part of it.
And so I'm very lucky. Again, he's really helped me.
Yeah, and he's
helped me, and he believes in my artistic vision. I am one of those hokey artists. I have to have a vision. That even with being a businessman, I want there to be an artistic stroke to it, of course.
Okay, Ronnie, how can anybody get you more work, which I don't think you actually need more work. It seems like your plate is pretty full.
It tends to be sometimes.
It is. How can they reach you?
You can reach me at through my Facebook. It's Ronnie Nanos on Facebook, or that's the same name on Instagram. And my email is lennoxvamp@gmail.com. I'm also on IMDb through my name, Ronnie Nanos, and on Facebook you can also follow me in my alter ego as a burlesque performer as Pistol Holliday.
See, we found out something today, a burlesque performer. Huh. He takes off all his clothes.
Pistol Holliday.
He strips.
Sometimes
he strips.
I'm surprised anybody wants to see a 50-year-old man take off his clothes. I'm like, really?
You are not 50.
I'm 49 this year.
He looks amazing. You look absolutely amazing.
You look amazing.
So between the two of us, we're giving each other compliments, because that's what you do in the entertainment business.
But I really do love this lady. I do. I love her. She's always been so kind to me. It's just the first time on a red carpet, and I was like a line in that film, and you've always been so good to me.
Yeah, he didn't know what was going on or what was happening.
I had no idea.
And I said, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it all.
Again,
they come on and they're like, their knees are knocking, and I said, don't worry, it's okay, it's just a conversation.
That was so neat about the actors last night as their first film, because
just
a few years ago, I was there.
And the first time they were on the red carpet, and I said, are you nervous? It was so
I
beautiful.
was too.
But they were so lovely.
There, and you all were there, and I will never forget that.
I helped them get through that, and
you do.
Absolutely.
You all did it.
It's just amazing. We're going to close out on this interview, unfortunately, but don't forget to subscribe Vegas Live with Ninon on YouTube, and listen to him. He's amazing, absolutely wonderful.
Great.
But this is the build-up we have. We're now in our 6th year with Vegas Live with Ninon. We have a tremendous support across Vegas, and also we have the world. We have people flying in and everything. So
we do.
It's absolutely
from
amazing.
Texas.
From Texas. See, she's from Texas. We'll be right back with our next guest. Take care.
Bye.
If you enjoyed the last show we just did and all the other shows, don't forget to subscribe Vegas Live with Ninon on YouTube. We've got plenty more coming up, and our guests are amazing. So don't forget to subscribe. We'll be right back. Vegas Live with Ninon.